Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Jenelle Kim here with Craig Nandoo, founders of JBK Wellness Labs, and we are filming The Experts, as you know, and we have truly an expert here with us. This is Don Frey of the Independent Beauty Association, who is going to share some of the important topics that are happening in our industry as we know it right now. Don, before we begin, please let everyone know a bit about who you are and where they can find you.
Okay, so I'm Don Frey. I'm the president and CEO of the Independent Beauty Association. We're a nonprofit trade association that works across all areas of the small to mid-sized companies in the beauty industry. We're here to support, we provide information about regulations, we help with export certificates, and we just are there to be an information source. So we actually have a concierge service that if you're a member, you can call us up and help us. I have a question. Can you help me out with this?
That is huge, everyone. Huge.
It is huge.
Yeah.
It's very huge.
Yes.
So that's what we do. Yeah.
Okay, I love that, Don. Thank you. And everyone can find you on social media before we even get any further.
Yes, IBA Don Frey. Also, my Instagram or my LinkedIn is looking for Don Frey on LinkedIn.
Beautiful.
And prior to being at IBA, I have like 40 years experience in R&D. So I was like, my last job was the Chief Innovation Officer at The Honest Company.
Amazing. It's really amazing.
Yeah.
Don, I wanted to ask you, you're going to be speaking today about Mochra.
Yeah.
Huge shift in our industry, and I feel like this is kind of the Jaws music. It's been coming, and it's really about to start to happen right at the end of this year. And so I know from our perspective on the manufacturing side, we've been very on top of it because it affects everything that we do.
Right.
What is your perspective on it? And then what do you think that people need to know about it the most?
So it's really interesting. For one thing, I'm very concerned about how many people I think are just ignoring Mochra. I mean, there's a lot of people putting their heads in the sand. A lot of people, they're just like, dun, 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 dun. If I don't listen to it, it's not going to happen. And it's happening.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a little bit difficult for people right now, though, too, because the FDA is behind timing. So the portal's not open yet. There's stuff that has to happen. But by law, officially, everyone has to have a facility registration that has to happen by December 29th. Everyone has to have their product listings up and into the FDA by December 29th. And also people have to have in place a system for how they're going to maintain and control their adverse event reporting. So that's what happens now. Those are the first three things. And then there are things that happen over the next couple of years. So it rolls into GMPs, safety assessments, and stuff like that.
And
so
GMP is good manufacturing practices. For anyone who doesn't know. That's my job. So, well, part of my job.
Those are the things that roll out. So it's like, it's in reality, it's a big thing, but also people just focus on what they need to do. It's very absorbable right now.
Yes.
I'll be honest with you, Mochra is not my biggest concern right now. There's other stuff that's happening that people are just totally ignoring that they really need to focus on as well.
That's really interesting. What would those be?
So one of the things happening is there's all sorts of plastics and sustainability laws that are going into effect at the state level. So there's one that's already passed in Washington, one that's passed in Colorado, one that's passed in California. And again, they're amorphous. They don't even know what they're doing, yet there's things that are supposed to be effective by January. So there's lots of uncertainty where regulations are coming into play. They're supposed to be active, and yet there's not information from the government or the regulators. How do people comply? So it's really creating a lot of uncertainty. But at the same point in time, people need to be aware of this because some of these things, there's involvement that we need to have as an industry up front because it's going to affect cost. Like you're going to get charged for your plastic by state. And so understanding what that is and how your plastic is going to get charged, we can affect that now.
Yes.
But once those fees get set, my concern is these things go across multiple industries. So like food and household and cars and stuff like that, all these different things. And so like when people are going to be looking at, okay, if we don't have a voice when they're setting these prices, everyone's going to look and say like, beauty has huge gross margins, so they can absorb these costs, whereas household has these margins. So, and it's like, but household has this much product, and beauty has this much product. So
that's
it's
exactly
like we need to understand that and be in control of that because it's going to hit our industry.
Yes.
So we as an industry need to take control of ourselves
and really come together. And this is such incredible information. Seriously, Don, it's amazing what you're doing to even make people aware of this because Absolutely. Even in this conversation, I look a little stunned because you think of, especially as manufacturers helping brands, how much that really is going to affect if people do not start now. Start thinking about these things, because packaging alone, you know how much time that takes?
Oh my God.
To create a beautiful product is a whole other aspect that people don't necessarily even think about unless you've walked through it.
Yeah.
And so you have to start way in advance being prepared for this. Brands that are already out there, brands that are coming, so be aware. This is incredible information.
Yeah.
Amazing that you are such an awesome source to go to where people know that they can trust, and the door is open.
I was going to ask you just that question. Is the resources that you're providing through IBA
Right.
able to help people be aware of all these things? And
Definitely. It's like next week, as a matter of fact, we're actually having a Supply Chain and Sustainability Summit. It's on November 1st and 2nd. It's virtual. If you're a member of IBA, you get a discount. If you're not a member, you can still join.
Amazing.
We're going to have incredible information there about all these packaging laws, also about ESG reporting, because small companies think about things, they're like, oh, those SEC rules for ESG reporting,
Right.
those won't apply to me because I'm not a publicly traded company. But you're selling product to Sephora, to
Yes.
Target, to Ulta. These are all publicly traded companies. They're going to be coming to you because they have to do what's called Source 3 reporting, which means they have to account for where their materials that they sell is coming from and what's the environmental impact of those materials.
Absolutely.
So even though you're not responsible,
Right.
the retailers are going to be requiring you to give them this information.
Absolutely.
And so that's a whole nother layer of information that people are going to have to understand.
Yes.
And that's something we're going to have to lean on our vendors
Yes.
to understand, like, okay, what's the carbon footprint of getting this here? Where is this being shipped from? All these different details, that's just a whole nother level of information.
Absolutely.
And then how people consolidate that information and pass it along, it's going to be very complicated.
Absolutely, absolutely. But we will stick together and
I'm
figure
Exactly.
this out.
I want to say I'm really grateful for all of this transparency that you are providing to the industry, especially smaller brands that don't necessarily have teams that are focused on this stuff. Independent Beauty Association is an amazing place to go for this info. Dawn, thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you
Thank
both.
you, Don.
And thank you
We
for what you're
appreciate
doing.
you.
We really appreciate it.
Aw, appreciate that.
All right.
So stay in touch with Dawn, Independent Beauty Association. Of course, stay in touch with us, Dr. Jenelle Kim.
Independentbeauty.org.